Hi guys, and welcome to this video about trans necrons, because that is what 40k wants, that is what 40k needs. What? Robots? Basically, that think that they're other gender? Did we mistaken the universe? Someone? Yes, okay. Guys. So, this is from the same author that we discussed yesterday, Nate Crowley. And once again, I'm sorry if I butcher his name, hopefully not. But since we discovered yesterday that he basically entered the realm of pronouns, and he created this absolutely needless scene in which orcs are discussing whether they are they or he or him, basically whether they well, nothing. And as we talked about that yesterday, although they don't have reproductive organs, they do identify themselves as guys, boys, and whatever. I mean, they do address themselves with he, him, and all of that. So to interject such thing into the book all of a sudden is really out of nowhere, is uncalled for, and just not needed, because orcs are going to be orcs and they're just going to kill and destroy, and it does not matter any way, and this should not be addressed. If you don't want to be an author that wants to be on the nose of everyone else, basically. And now we have the same author with another book, another Xenos faction in the world of Warhammer 40k, that decided to interject basically a trans segment, and it's just as out of nowhere as is the previous segment of the previous book. Now, if you have read the whole thing, of course, guys, and you are in the chat, feel free to let me know what actually you think about this, if there's more context to this. So hi to everybody in the chat. Dear Clayton, thank you so much for the super chat. And Josh is here as well, and Luke, and Mr. Mule. Mule Tube. I really have to somehow pronounce your name better. But yeah, orcs don't need pronouns. Orc is orc, that is it. Exactly, they're just orcs. Josh says, as far as I can tell, the Necron in question went completely insane, so the trans thing is justified. Is it, Josh? Because you gotta let me know if you have more context about this. And now we're going to play the segment, and we're going to discuss it on its merit, basically on what it is. And of course, we're going to also entertain the idea of how this can be justified. So let's hear it first.
Why? Paranoia on the part of my esteemed Pharaon and Matriarch, anathrosis of the Black Star. A paranoia which has paid off, in fairness.
I thought anathrosis was your patriarch, asked Oltix, briefly distracted by wondering if he had misremembered this detail of the Secession War.
That changed.
I see. But Zoltanek, if you're of the royal line, can you not see to the trebuchet yourself?
Would I? Gladly.
And that is basically it. So they're talking, all of a sudden it comes out that it is no longer Patriarch, but it is Matriarch. And your character is like, well, you heard it yourself, but I'm gonna play it again.
And Matriarch, anathrosis of the Black Star. A paranoia which has paid off, in fairness.
I thought anathrosis was your patriarch, asked Oltix, briefly distracted by wondering if he had misremembered this detail of the Secession War.
That changed.
I see. But Zoltanek.
I see. It's like, okay. So, by all means, this does seem that it's really out of nowhere, it's not needed, like who cares? And plus, from all of the Xenos and 40k, like, those guys don't even have a soul, they pretty much lost everything. They're so technologically advanced, but they're so behind with their spirituality because they don't have one, they lost it. So why would they even feel anything by this point? And why, I mean, they do feel like regret and stuff like that, but they don't have actually reproductive organs to which they have to connect with, to care and to just feel feelings of gender dysphoria, so they can thus change anything and all of a sudden identify with another gender. That's absolutely ridiculous, and it just does not make any freaking sense in their world and doesn't make sense in the world of 40k and all of that. Now, if we are to entertain the idea that Josh proposed here, that this Necron went completely insane and decided that, all of a sudden they're a woman now for some ungodly reason. Okay, I mean, they went there, but why? We have to ask ourselves, if we are Nate, if we are this guy, the author here, why would we do that in our book? I mean, if you are just a normal person, an author, that you're supposed to write a universe that is very sexless in general. I mean, it does not have a lot of that unless you are talking about Slaanesh THINGS, the excess, I mean, not the excess, the excess of things. Warhammer 40k is not really focused on those things at all, and thank God for that, because I just need the meaning in the war. I don't need scenes that I can have in every other universe. It really is needless. It doesn't belong there, it just doesn't. So if you're an author that writes for such universe, why would you put that there? And we already know that he already did that in the Orcs book. He already tackled gender and all of that. So I wouldn't put it past him that he very much intentionally put this here just to have it here, just to imply that such things exist amongst the Necrons. And who cares if you're a fan of the Necrons if they change their gender? I mean, you're probably thinking about certain characters that you admire, or they're just interesting to you. You want to put them on the tabletop, or you just want to read about them, like the Silent King, Trazin, whoever it is, really. And you're like, oh boy, this guy or this Necron is cool. You're not thinking, oh my gosh, is this Necron is going to identify as a woman now for absolutely no reason? It is extremely unprofessional if you're an author to put whatever personal beliefs you have in your work. We have discussed this before, but imagine if you work for anyone, you work for GW, you have to write this, and you're like, well, I like yogurt, so I'm going to put the yogurt in my works now for absolutely no reason. Someone is going to eat a space equivalent of a yogurt. Like, why would you do that? It's not professional. Why would you interject something that you like or love into the narrative for absolutely no reason? So two characters can have an awkward conversations for 2 seconds just so you can virtue single to someone out there that maybe is transgender, which are less of 1% of the whole population. Like, why would you do that? Unless it's on purpose, that's what I mean. Unless it's on purpose, So this is awkward, and the way that it's read is also the case. So either the voice actor knew how to read this, or they just read it because they wanted to read it this way. They thought that that's how it's supposed to be read, and so on. Shoehorning things like this comes with unfortunate implications. That's why apologies. Sorry, guys. I'm just in a hurry here. I had to serve Brastion first before I again start to read his comment. So shoehorning things like this comes with unfortunate implications. That's why allegory should be specific to a character and their situations instead of contemporary talking points thrown out there. Yeah, that's actually extremely well put. Thank you for that. Exactly. Why would we want this in the book?
Paranoia on the part of my esteemed Pharaon and Matriarch, Anathrosis of the Black Star. A paranoia which has paid off, in fairness. I thought Anathrosis was your patriarch,
asked Oltix, briefly distracted by wondering if he had misremembered this detail of the Secession War.
That changed.
I see.
Oh, I guess, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the mic. Yeah, I muted my mic. Yeah, okay, so I gotta repeat everything that I said. Okay, sorry about that, guys. It's really because of the echo, the book, and all of that. And headphones really mess other settings up, so that's why I have to do this. Okay, so basically, I said that because this author, Nate, is in the yellow list, as we discussed yesterday, he is not yet embraced fully the woke ideology, according to Chainsword. But if I were to write something like that in my own book, let's say, then I would have to embrace the woke ideology. Now, how much I'm willing to write, how much I'm willing to actually integrate into the works that I'm being paid for, that is another manner. But I think that you do have to be full on in agreement with today's bullcrap in order for you to actually put them into a work that you're not supposed to be interjecting your personal views in any case. First, this is 40,000 years in the future. Second, the nature of the universe is totally different than anything that we know now in our own world. It is not equivalent to anything that we know in today's times. So even by any logic, and the fact that the Necrons are just metal because they don't have their souls, they should not have such feelings that we could feel or mental disorders that will lead to such things. What mental disorders, guys? Where are their biological parts even? What is this? It's ridiculous. They can fix everything that they need fixing. So, for someone to have a gender dysphoria, that's going to be an extreme stupidity. And I mean, for them, for the Necrons, they're so cynical. They don't care about such things. So for them, it's going to be such an inconvenience, if it's even possible, that they would just purge that out of their brains. And it's going to be done with. So this patriarch will remain patriarch and not a matriarch. It's not going to be an issue at all. Oh, you're on Team Yellow. I oppose both sides of the conflict, like the League of Non-Aligned Powers in Babylon 5. Well, okay. Okay, although I don't know how you can be, how can you oppose both sides of the conflict? There should not be a conflict in the first place. We should just have no things that are not supposed to be there in the first place and just interject it into the universe. The universe should be the way that it is. And if you don't like it the way that it is, then it's just not for you. If someone wants to have transgender, gay, whatever in any fictional universes, they should create their own fictional universes. If the original idea is not about that, and actually nothing should be about sexuality at all or gender identity in the world, because that's not the most meaningful thing ever. That's just some part of us that should be intimate, should be experienced in closed doors, basically. And if you want to change your gender, if you really have gender dysphoria, then just, do it if you have the means to it. That's kind of like just a topic about those things in general. And that's your right to do it. But it's not your right to put that and show it forcefully to other people and put that into other universes or the real world forcefully, not called for, and all of that. Because that is what is happening in today's world. That's why Star Wars is absolutely ruined and it's complete crap. And that's why other universes are also getting ruined. And that is why I'm talking about Warhammer, because I don't want Warhammer to be ruined by that, And these are just small steps into one big plan for all of those whole things to be integrated into a world where just it does not belong. Because what is the logic here? Why would the Necrons even have such needs? They don't. They're just machines that yearn to take their souls back somehow, and everything that they're doing subconsciously or consciously, it's about getting to where they feel whole, basically. That has nothing to do with our problems today. That's 40,000 years in the future, and it's written before any of this ever touched the universe ever before. So by all accounts, there's no reason for that to exist at all. Okay. So you're against any and all politics in my fiction? Let the hobby just be the hobby. Yes, that is what I say. That is what I say, Mr. Greenskin. Gabriel says that's right. They should make their own franchise instead of destroying other franchise like Star Wars. Poor Star Wars, man. Oh yeah, the Acolyte, guys. The Acolyte. Also, if I haven't mentioned it before, the Acolyte, guys. Yes, it's horrible. Honestly, Necrons were the perfect time to just make them all a gender, and it's actually work. What are you even talking about, art? Not just Star Wars, but Star Trek, Halo, D&D, Marvel, DC, and others as well. Yeah. Anything genre-based is supposed to be an escape, free of politics. Yes, exactly. So, if you take this argument, Martin, that anything that is genre-based, supposed to be an escape and free of politics, that every other argument that people may have about inserting those things here will be absolutely, falling through, meaningless, and absolutely rendered useless. That is enough for an argument. This is supposed to be escapism in the first place. There are TV shows like years ago, like The L World, that were for a particular audience, their original works. Do that. Why not? Why not just invent like a fictional universe of all gay people where gay people are not the minority, but the majority or something. Just make up your own thing. That's fine. No state person will go there with their flag, which doesn't basically really exist, and be like, I demand more straight people in this. Like, no one's going to do that because they will know that this is just not for them. So they're just going to watch something else, But they're not going to try to change the universe that you made. They're not going to try to change the universe with more straight people, because that's not even the point at all. It's quite the opposite of this universe. So everyone with common sense will respect that and move away. As well as anyone that wants to change other people's universes with their own desires and politics and worldviews should go just back up and focus their attention to something else that it is made for them. And this is just not made for that. And on the other hand, guys, there's many gay people and queer people in general that love actually 40K. I mean, people literally wrote me some comments that say that people go to, Warhammer stores, they play, they know that they're gay, but nobody's bothering them, and they still enjoy the universes because, oh, surprise, surprise, guys, they don't actually only identify with their own sexuality because they are people like everyone else, and they have a lot more qualities to them. So they're not allowing only the sexuality to define them in the same way that, heterosexual people are not allowing their sexuality to define them at all. It's just a part of them. It's not the whole thing that they are. But today's narratives that we are getting basically is all about being only your sexuality and nothing else, which is how those people actually try to push themselves into the dirt. The boot that is pressing their neck all the time is themselves, because they're the ones that are reducing themselves to only their sexuality, and they do not express other qualities as human beings. Are they decent human beings with real moral codes or something, like integrity, dignity, respect for others? No, it really doesn't seem so, because they just want to force everything. So like little things like that in the books eventually are going to grow into something much bigger, because if you show your hand, they're going to just eat your whole arm, not only your hand. So there's just a lot of things here to know and to consider. And so the irony is that they are themselves that are reducing themselves to only that. And sane people are just trying to be like, oh my gosh, just leave my universe alone, and whatever else universe you're trying to take over. And try to also like it. I mean, maybe it does not have your sexuality in it. Like, who cares about that? You are a human. You're not only your sexuality. Why don't you like these guys? Hey, I'm not a robot. I'm not a Necron. I have a soul, Those people don't have souls. They're just like basically walking computers that are extremely intelligent but very cynical and all of those things. I cannot relate to them from that angle, but surely I can relate to the fact that they do suffer what they went through, how they were lied to, what happened to them overall, and now how they do things. I mean, you can understand anyone if it's written well, a character or faction, whatever. You can understand absolutely anyone and relate to them, even if you're not like them. You don't need to be exactly like someone in anything to relate to them, because how else we ever watched a superhero movie, an action movie with Arnold, with whoever? Like, we are not 180 something centimeters of a huge bodybuilder guy from Austria that says, get to the chopper, but we relate to the guy because he's great. I mean, not only to him, I mean, to his freaking characters that he plays. We can relate to the Terminator. We know how he felt through his acting, through the script, through whatever is happening on screen. Never was before the case where we had to see ourselves and our sexuality in the movies so we can relate. There's so many gay people that hate parades, hate this propaganda and this showing off of everything. It is just very harmful actually to them, and it's not doing them any favors, because they are feeling a lot more than just their sexuality. They just want to experience that between closed doors with their own significant others, and that is it. Like everyone else wants to do the same if they're heterosexual. So all of this is fake, unfortunately, but it is happening, and they're trying to make it the truth. So that's why I and other people are trying to speak against it. So we don't get things slide anymore. We shouldn't. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Okay. And okay, so MR Tube. I gotta make some kind of a abbreviation to your name if you don't mind. So MR Tube says, to Gabrielle, but that requires talent and skill, which they don't possess. They think they do, but they don't. Yeah, which, kind of connects me to the showrunner of The Acolyte. It came out, some news came out that before she was based and not like now, but then something happened. I don't know, maybe someone in Hollywood brainwashed her to become woke, but she was based and she hated everything like that, and now she's one of them, so. Oh, sorry guys, hiccup. I don't know how that happened. With her, not with my hiccup. So, Greenskin says, eventually people are going to rebel against woke ideology by creating our own stuff, like the Rippleverse or Hammerholt's comic parody New Age. Well, whatever you can create, really. Martin says, precisely, Empress. Yes, thank you. Sir Brastion says, the tragedy of Necron characters is their dysphoria since biotransference, the urge to breathe without lungs, the inconsistency of memories, flayed ones. Yeah, but that is all connected to the fact that they don't have their bodies and they don't have their souls. So first it starts off with comic books, then animated series, and then eventually people will make IPs to rival the mainstream. Maybe I hope that if that happens, those are going to be successful, hopefully. Many of these woke people have tried to make their own universes and franchises. Remember Thirsty Sword Lesbians RPG game? No, I don't. I don't steal Striker. But here's the thing, they should create whatever they want, for sure. But now, this is the other reality, that there are not very many of them. They're really a small percentage of the population. That is the case, because if they were more in nature, humanity is going to go extinct. We all know that. I actually saw something on Facebook, basically that if you put 100 men and 100 women on an island, in 100 years you have more men and women there. They're going to have children, all of that. But if you put 100 men and let's say 100 trans men, in 100 years you have 200 corpses, basically. So that is the reality of the situation. They can pretend that they can have periods and all of that, but that's biologically impossible, so they cannot reproduce and make more humans. Jesus. And Sir says, if you want to sell the suffering of trans people, Necrons have something for you via allegory. If you want to score ACG points, you do what Nate did. Yeah, actually. So yeah, if you really want to relate to someone, you still can do that through other struggles that are kind of similar in a way to your struggle. If Necrons suffer from the things that they have lost before, and if you feel that you are a man but you have been born a woman, that is not the same, but on principle it is similar, on principle only. So there's that. And also the other thing is, guys, because this will be a trauma as well to a point, if you cannot be the gender that you feel that you are, this is like a trauma. Why would you want to see the trauma from other stuff of art? Yeah, let me ask those people that. Why would you want to watch a movie or read a book, whatever it is, of someone that goes through such turmoil? Is it going to be that pleasant? Is it? And it's fictional. Didn't even happen. So how you relate to that in terms of, what is this going to give to your soul? Now, because I have been bullied when I was growing up, do I want to watch a movie or a TV show or whatever, or to read a book about a girl that has been bullied throughout kindergarten and school? Do I want to do that? Do I really want to do that? No, I have no interest in that. I've been through that. I overgrown this, I'm past this. I have dealt with it. In all kinds of ways. I'm over it. I can tell other people how they can deal with it. I can teach other kids how to deal with it, and how not let that damage them for life, all of those things. because I have done it, but do I really want to go back and just watch those things now because I have been through it? Like, heck no, I have better things to watch that are actually going to entertain me and give me some kind of a meaning, because as far as that goes, that chapter of my life, it's done, it's over, and I'm happy how I dealt with it. You know, I'm happy that I did not become the oppressor. Instead, I mean, you know how some people can, if they get to live something like that, and then they become the bullies. Instead of that, I have beaten this thing, so that's a lot better. And it is positive when it teaches you to be stronger and all of those things. So how about that? How about building a character and becoming stronger instead of wanting to interject your own trauma and pain in stuff of fiction when they don't even freaking belong? If that is not form of violence to some extent, you know, form of forcefulness, I don't know what is. So it's kind of like that, you know, when you go through something, you either want to project it on the world so you can see it more, kind of like be drowning in your own suffering and pain, or you can deal with it and build upon it and become a better person in some kind of a way that is relevant to you, you can say. Okay, getting back to your comments. Sir Brestion says, if you want to sell the suffering of trans people, yeah, okay, I read that. Greenskin says, as AI advances, the power of creation will once again be put into the hands of the individual. We'll see, yeah. Yeah, even the guys and lesbian hate of what the community has become. Yeah, that's the guys. I mean, that's the queer people that are really like strong people that just want to live their lives. Those are the strong people, you know. Those are the same people. Daniel says, not if Games Workshop goes out of business. Necrons are petty and have more personality than anything on 40k besides orcs. They do actually have personalities. Oh, hi to Ghost Rhino. Hey Empress, I've been watching your channel for a while. You are recommended by Gamza. Hello. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, hopefully me and Gamza get to do something again soon. That's gonna be awesome. Somebody posted what? Just because you posted a hand, the Nightbot reacted. Sorry about that. It's just ridiculous, this Nightbot. Watching something about bullying when you were bullied would be like anti-escapism. Yes, Martin, yes, but that's kind of, you know, yeah, that's the point. Oh my gosh, it's hot here, and I don't have an air conditioning. So basically, that is it, guys. But, you know, there's more things. If Chainsword also finds something, he may be able to help me, because he reads a lot of books for me to you know, find these things and cover these things. So with his helping hand, maybe you're going to get things done even more, because those things just need to be pointed out, like for sure. And I have heard that there's something in the Lion book, something about, again, pronouns, like genderless, about the Astartes something, and I have to reach to that part because I haven't yet. But if I do, I'm gonna let you know. Just had to leave that book for a bit, and that a bit turned into months. But yeah, I gotta see what that's about, because Mike Brooks, I think, was the author, and he is considered more woke even than Nate Crowley here. So we'll see what's gonna happen, guys. With that being said, if you'd like to support me, the links are down below. Keep an eye on the channel. I actually have written a video essay about 40k, which I'm still working on for a few days. Hopefully it turns out to be interesting for you. So yeah, that is what it's coming as well. And Mr. MR Tube says, or what I read of new 40k media, I think that Guy Haley is a pretty good author and he's on the green list. Yeah, I don't remember everything that he has written, but I'm going to check because I'm extremely actually curious who the heck... wait, I gotta check this right now before I go. Who the heck wrote the Fulgrim book, guys? Yeah, okay, let me just try that. I wanna see who wrote Fulgrim. It's Graham McNally. Interesting. Well, where is he in the list then? Because I really like Fulgrim. The book is pretty old now, I think, but I really like this book. It was so interesting, intricate. Okay, let me see if he's in the list. Just real quick, guys, while I'm still here. His Blood Angels books are really good, coming from Blood Angels fan. Okay. There's also something else that me and Chainsword have. It is pretty freaking long. It's a 28 Mac magazine about gay sex with space marines. But it's really long, guys. Yeah, but it's on my list to cover, and I gotta cover it in a most objective way, so because it's long, kind of like postponing it. Okay, hold on, gonna find where is this? Just a few seconds. I really thought that I downloaded it yesterday, but I don't know where it went. Okay. My Brooks in the red list, Aaron Dembski-Baldwin in the red, Gav Troop, Grant McNally's in the red, really? Damn it. I made another post about him, totally butchered the Bretonian Knights lore with his woke take. Woke on social media, some woke elements, even in his older novels. Well, I haven't noticed that. Maybe he wasn't woke when he wrote Fulgrim, so there's that. Maybe I should just discuss the lists on their own in its own video, guys. I mean, even the list of YouTubers as well, because I am on the green list, but there's many YouTubers that I actually didn't even know, and I gotta check them out. Recommendation noted. Keep in mind that it's just my opinion. I would respect yours if you think otherwise. Okay. Is it okay to ask about Henry Cavill's show or the female custodies? Of course that it is. I have talked about that many times, Gabriel, but if you want to ask anything, you gotta do it now before I go. And in the meantime, I'm going to download now this for real, because I don't want to lose the list of the authors anymore. It's really annoying. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna check what you wrote, guys. I was going to say, if you want me to remind you what it said about Nate Crowley, he wrote, Tolkien, trans Necrons and his Necron novels can be somewhat interpreted as supporting trans rights, which they are according to leftist interpretation. However, he stated that his main inspiration was people with Alzheimer's disease. I don't know how that can be Alzheimer and translated to transgender all of a sudden. He's not yet fully embraced the woke ideology. Maybe he didn't, maybe he did. Nah, you know. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Not everything the bad others made was bad. Yeah, for sure. It's especially the new stuff, since pushing politics became popular. We have to cherry pick the good from the bad. Yeah, of course. I mean, we do have to judge any book not by its cover, but what is inside, of course. Has there been any updates on it? About female stories or Cavill? No. None of... I can't read that because of the heart that's front of it. None of us knew. Yeah. So, Dan Abnett is in the green. I really have not noticed anything that Dan have done that would be considered woke. I mean, some people said that he did, but I don't know what that was. Every time that he explains anything, it's just about the lore and how writers write and how they think about things outside the box. They think about other things, so they can connect them to whatever else is happening, basically into the lore. So they have to write other stuff, so things can connect in the book even if we don't see them, which is super cool to me. So yeah, guys. Guy Haley, some token LGBT characters or mentions characters that tick diversity boxes his earlier works like Baneblade and Shadow Sword are devoid of that stuff. Interesting. And also, of course, Chainsword wants to point out that sometimes when certain characters, gay characters, are written with context and they actually matter to the story and they are not only about their sexuality, then of course it has some value to them and it's not just about the points. But when it's just out of nowhere, like these books that we discussed today and yesterday, I don't know what context and what justification you have to have for this to be there at all. When we do have, guys, so many things that are against this, I mean, so many things that are absolutely valid arguments that totally dismiss such notions into the universe 40k. So we have this much big, I mean, this huge list of things that would render anything like that useless and meaningless, and then we have this like one, I mean, a dot of an argument of why these things have to be in it. So you can't just dismiss like this with the this. Yeah. Did I read right, trans Necrons? And by the way, what's up, boys? Hey, Luca. Hey, Luca. Yeah, trans Necrons, basically, in one little snippet from this book. But you gotta go back to watch, the whole thing. I'm starting from the beginning with that anyway, so you will hear what that's about. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully we can see each other tomorrow as well. And lastly, I'm gonna read, guys, last comments if you can say anything. If not, I'm just gonna go. But what pains is what I only find out about Mike Brooks being a woke tart is after I bought his special edition of Brutal Cunning and the Big Daka. Now I'm afraid to read these books. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, imagine if you're reading about an orc once again. He's like, "Ugh, I feel like they to them and not he." But you have all of those huge muscles and you look like a he. And he's like, well, I'm spores, I'm made of spores, so today I'm going to be they, and who cares? Just kill yourself already and be done with it. Like, have a do or something. Jesus Christ. Punch the other on the head. Okay. Okay, guys. Love ya. With me, the 40k Empress. Have a great Friday and weekend, and yeah, hopefully we're going to again see each other tomorrow. Bye.